Have you ever sat in a classroom taking notes, absorbing every lesson, yet walked out feeling strangely unprepared for the life you dreamed of? They teach you history, math, science, but almost nothing about how to make money work for you instead of you working for money. And here's the unsettling truth: it's not an accident. The system, the very institution you trusted, was never designed to hand you the keys to financial freedom. Think about it. You're told to study hard, get a good job, follow the rules. But no one mentions the strategies behind wealth, the mindset of independence, or the awareness that gives you control over your own financial life. They don't teach you how to recognize the traps of debt, the illusions of credit, or how the choices you make today can either chain you to a paycheck forever or free you entirely. And that's where most people stop, trapped in a cycle of confusion and quiet frustration, never realizing that the real education about money isn't in the textbooks, it's in the hidden lessons the system keeps just out of reach. Imagine for a moment if you could see behind the curtain, if you could understand the rules before the game begins. What if you knew the principles that allow ordinary people to achieve extraordinary independence, not by luck, but by awareness? That knowledge changes everything. Because when you start seeing the patterns, when you start noticing how control slips away from those who never question, you feel a mix of shock, frustration, but also a spark, because knowledge is the first step toward taking back. This isn't about resentment, it's about empowerment. Once you awaken to the truth that financial freedom is a skill, a mindset, and a strategy, suddenly your world looks different. You begin to notice opportunities where others see obstacles. You see leverage where others see limitations. You start to question the narratives you were taught and realize that independence isn't a privilege, it's a choice. And choices, when made with clarity, have the power to rewrite the course of your life. By the end of this journey, you'll understand why so many brilliant, capable people never break free, and why a few seemingly ordinary individuals manage to achieve wealth that feels almost unfair. You'll see that it's not just money, it's control, awareness, and the refusal to accept the curriculum you were handed as the only path. So stay with me, because what you're about to discover is not in any lesson plan. It's hidden in plain sight, waiting for the people willing to see the system for what it is and learn how to beat it at its own game. So, why exactly isn't financial freedom part of the curriculum? The answer is simple, yet uncomfortable. The system profits when you remain uninformed. Schools teach compliance, not independence. They train you to earn, spend, and owe, but never to grow wealth on your terms. Every lesson plan, every test, every diploma subtly, silently prepares you for a life of financial dependence. And most people never see it. Think about the bills piling up every month, the paycheck disappearing before you even realize, the feeling that you're working tirelessly yet still falling short. That's the pattern they rely on. It's not just money, it's control. When you don't understand how money works, you're playing someone else's game without even knowing the rules. And yet, the curious, the ones who question, who observe the patterns around them, they begin to notice something extraordinary. They see the difference between being rich in knowledge and poor in awareness, and they realize that wealth isn't a matter of luck, it's a result of intentional action. Here's where awareness becomes your superpower. Understanding how the system is designed allows you to step outside of it. Awareness teaches you that independence doesn't come from a paycheck, it comes from strategy, patience, and knowing where to focus your energy. Wealth is not about working harder, it's about thinking smarter, spotting the leverage points, and refusing to be a passive participant in a system that benefits from your ignorance. And this is where most people fail. They see opportunity but don't recognize it. They follow conventional paths because it feels safe, because it's what they were taught. Meanwhile, those who seek knowledge beyond the curriculum, start building real freedom, because they understand the invisible rules, the power of control, and the difference between temporary comfort and lasting independence. Ask yourself, are you learning just to pass exams, or are you learning to take control of your life? Because the answers to wealth, awareness, and independence are all around you, hidden in conversations, books, habits, and even the mistakes of those who came before. Recognizing the system is the first step. Learning to navigate it successfully is the next. And that journey begins the moment you choose awareness over obedience. The people who succeed aren't necessarily smarter, they're more aware. They see the gaps, the overlooked strategies, the tools others ignore. And when you start to see these gaps yourself, the possibilities open up. Independence isn't a dream, it becomes inevitable once you understand the rules and commit to playing the game differently. Now that you see the system for what it is, the question becomes, what do you do with that knowledge? Awareness alone isn't enough. Knowledge without action is like having a map, but never leaving your front door. The path to financial freedom starts with deliberate steps, small but deliberate actions that compound over time. This isn't about luck, it's about strategy, discipline, and a mindset that refuses to be trapped by outdated lessons. The first step is control. Take a hard look at your finances. Where is your money going? What debts or obligations are silently dictating your choices? Most people never pause to examine this because it's uncomfortable. But discomfort is a signal that tells you where change is needed. When you take control, even in small ways, you reclaim power from the system. Suddenly, your choices aren't dictated by fear, they are guided by strategy. Next comes awareness of opportunity. Wealth isn't only about earning more, it's about seeing possibilities where others see problems. Look at the habits of those quietly successful people, the ones who aren't flaunting status, but building true independence. They read, they invest, they plan, they observe the invisible rules that govern money. They make choices with foresight instead of impulse. And you can do the same. Awareness paired with action creates momentum, and momentum is the force that turns knowledge into freedom. Then there's independence. Independence isn't simply having money in the bank, it's having options. It's the ability to say no without guilt, to make decisions without being controlled by circumstance. And independence starts with mindset. The system wants you to think you're powerless, that wealth is reserved for a few. Reject that. Wealth, when approached with discipline, strategy, and patience, is available to anyone willing to learn and act. Finally, consistency is what separates theory from reality. The small choices you make today, the budgeting, the investing, the learning, the questioning of conventional wisdom, they accumulate into something extraordinary. Control, awareness, independence, and consistency, these are the pillars the curriculum never taught you, yet they are exactly what financial freedom is built on. Ask yourself, are you ready to stop being a passive participant and start being an active player in your financial life? The road isn't easy, but it's clear. Those who take it are the ones who step out of the system's invisible chains and into true freedom. But now you've seen the system, understood the traps, and started imagining a life beyond the paycheck to paycheck cycle. But what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's consider the people who quietly break free, the ones who don't flaunt wealth but live it. Their secret isn't in flashy tactics, it's in habits, choices, and mindset. They understand control, awareness, and independence like a language others never learn. Take the story of someone who started with nothing but curiosity and discipline. They didn't wait for a course, a seminar, or a degree to tell them what to do. They learned it from observation, from trial and error, from understanding how money flows and where opportunities hide. They noticed patterns others missed, and they acted while the majority hesitated. The system couldn't hold them back because they refused to be constrained by what wasn't taught. Mindset is the bridge between knowledge and action. When you adopt the perspective that wealth is a skill, not a privilege, you start thinking differently. You stop seeing debt as normal, spending as inevitable, and dependence as unavoidable. You see leverage, timing, and strategy. You begin to understand that small, consistent steps, saving, investing, learning, create results that compound in ways textbooks can never explain. Emotional resilience is equally critical. The system is designed to make deviation feel risky. Friends, family, society, they expect you to follow the script. Those who pursue financial freedom learn to navigate doubt, skepticism, and fear. They cultivate patience, knowing that independence is a long game. They trust the process even when the path isn't clear, because they understand that control over their financial life is the ultimate form of power. And here's the truth most people overlook. Financial freedom isn't just about wealth. It's about autonomy, choices, and the confidence that you can navigate life on your own terms. It's the ability to wake up and decide how to spend your day, where to invest your energy, and what risks to take without being trapped by circumstances or outdated lessons. The people who achieve this life aren't extraordinary, they're intentional. They are observant, strategic, and disciplined. And as you move toward this mindset, you'll notice that opportunities start appearing in places others never see. The curriculum might not teach it, but life does, and you can choose to learn. Now that you understand why financial freedom isn't taught in school, it's time to take control of your own education. Knowledge alone won't free you, you must act. Begin by embracing the principles we've discussed: awareness, control, strategy, independence, and consistency. These are not abstract ideas. They are actionable steps that, when applied, gradually build a life where money works for you instead of the other way around. Start by assessing your current situation with brutal honesty. Identify debts, unnecessary expenses, and habits that keep you dependent. Then take deliberate steps to redirect your resources toward growth, investing in yourself, in assets that appreciate, and in knowledge that compounds over time. The small, consistent actions you take today will define your future. The system may not have taught you these lessons, but that doesn't mean you can't learn them now. Remember, financial freedom is as much about mindset as it is about money. Train yourself to see opportunity where others. Build resilience to withstand setbacks and societal expectations. Recognize that independence is a choice, a skill, and a discipline. And most importantly, commit to continuous learning. The world won't wait for you to catch up, but with awareness and strategy, you can take the lead. If this journey has sparked your curiosity, there's a next step waiting. Discover the habits that fuel the lives of those who quietly achieve extraordinary results. Watch the secret morning routine of ultra-successful people to explore how morning routines and daily habits of successful people create unstoppable momentum. These practices aren't taught in school, but they're the invisible engine behind wealth and freedom. Don't forget to subscribe to Wisdom Recorder, your knowledge source, and like this video if it inspired you.